Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the On Collection Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Chris Codina, and I have to apologize. I missed 2 weeks. Never intended that to happen. I've always, wanted to get an episode out every week, but just like with Thanksgiving, the holidays just kind of crept up on me, and I didn't get the chance to sit down and record and edit any episodes. But hopefully, with the holidays and such, everybody's been a little too busy to worry about what's going up on, my little show here. But I do apologize. At the moment, I'm planning, I'll have this one up, during the week of after Christmas, as it is. And I should also have one up on New Year's Eve Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, to, help kind of make up a little bit for it. If I can, I will also get a second one up. You'll know if if 3 videos go up within this week, then, you'll know I managed. But I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that or not. Again, holiday, busy, excuses. I'm sorry, not much I can say about it. But although on the thought of holidays, I hope everybody's enjoying theirs. I celebrated Christmas, and it was an enjoyable one. I got some Ghostbusters figures and Ghostbusters Monopoly, and I got an Overwatch blanket. And, I got the Behind You comic, or graphic novel from IDW. And if you're not familiar with Behind You, it is a collection of one-shot horror panels by creator Brian Koldrick. It's really cool. He's online. That's where I first saw his posts, and they were often GIFs, animated GIFs, and just all of his stuff is centered around a spooky image of something is behind a person, usually some big horrific monster or spooky ghost or something is behind someone, and there's a line or two to go along with the image just to tell the little story. It's really cool. It's something I appreciate. I like that sort of snapshot horror, and the image of something creeping behind somebody without them knowing is something that's classic to me. It's a horror image I enjoy. Just personally. So yeah, it was definitely my alley. It was definitely a very cool gift and a surprise to receive it. And I recommend checking it out. You can look him up online. Like I said, I think he's on Facebook, I want to say. Brian Koldrick, it was Behind You. There's definitely some cool, GIFs that he's posted. I think he has a site where he sells prints of these images and stuff like that. It's really fun, creepy stuff. I highly recommend it. But with that, you've all been waiting much too long now for another story. So I'm going one that's in the holiday spirit. I went and checked out NoSleep, the top posts for this month of December. And I saw one that has, at the moment, 3,538 upvotes. It was submitted 7 days ago from today, so that would be on December 21st by Reddit user BlairDaniels. It has a bit of a no-sleep title. You might probably know what I mean by that, but the title is "I Hear Santa's Reindeer Outside," shouted my 6-year-old. So it's an awkward title. Like I said, I'll probably, with that tale of roly-poly, I'll probably just shorten it to "I Hear Santa's Reindeer Outside," because it's just much too long and awkward. But it looks like most of the story is dialogue, so I'll do my best to do a little bit of a voice just so you recognize the difference. And without further ado, let's check out "I Hear Santa's Reindeer Outside," shouted my 6-year-old by BlairDaniels. "Mommy, what are you doing?" "I'm brining the turkey." "What's brining?" "I soak the turkey in salt water and..." "Why?" "Hey," I said, tightening the strings on my apron, "why don't you go play with the Starman toy I got you?" "I don't want to play with it anymore." Kids these days lose interest in a new toy in an hour. Want to watch Mommy take out the Christmas cookies? I pulled the tray out of the oven. Heat nipped at my fingers. The cookie Jackson made was burned at the edges and terribly misshapen. Your cookie turned out great, see? I wonder if, is Starman, like, something, that kids are playing with these days, or is it, like, DC, Justice Society Starman? Just curious. Or is it just, like, something this person made up, like a generic sounding, like Buzz Lightyear type thing? It probably doesn't have anything to do with the story, but when I saw that, or maybe it's like a David Bowie figure. Wouldn't that be fun? Like the kid got like a David Bowie action figure, Ziggy Stardust. Yeah, that would be like his his lightning bolt on his face like changes color when you run under cold water. Do toys still do that? Let's get this nostalgia bite here. 90s kids will remember. Do you remember, like, those toys where if you ran them under cold water, like, their coloring would change in some way? I had a Ghostbusters one. It was a Louis Tully Ghostbusters figure, where if you ran him under cold water, it would turn, it would look like he was slimed, like there would be green splotches on there. It was pretty great. I'm pretty sure there was, somebody had an X-Men, I think my brother had an X-Men one that did something with that. Yeah, I definitely ruined, his Storm action figure, who had like a light up lightning bolt on her chest, because I played with it in the tub. But that's neither here nor there. Point is, yeah, this has nothing to do with anything, but I just started remembering toys that change colors when you ran cold water over them, and I don't know, do they still do that? It seems like, very specific 80s and 90s technology, toy technology. I don't know. Just like slime. I don't think you get slime anymore either. I loved slime toys. Like, yeah, it was one of those, like, if a toy came with a slime, I wanted it. Ninja Turtles, Alien toys were awesome. Oy, I'm getting really off track here. Let me get back to this mom lying to her child about how good his cookie is. Can I eat it now? He asked, his grimy little hands shooting for it. I thought it was for Santa. It was, but I'm hungry, and if everyone else is feeding Santa cookies, he doesn't really need mine, right? Smart kid. See, some people might think he's being selfish, but maybe he's thinking of Santa's, health. I'm, as someone who has been trying to lose lots of weight, I have been eating much, 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 much too many holiday cookies because I can't resist them. But, we'll start after New Year's, right? I led him into the dining room with a cookie and a tall glass of milk. Here you go, honey. He sat down. I glanced out the window. Christmas lights from the house across the street twinkled back in the falling dusk. I patted him on the shoulder and began walking away. Mommy! Ugh, what now? Yes, Jackson. I hear jingling of Santa's reindeer. That's nice, I said. Probably just that old man next door, walking his corgi. Oh, corgis. But whatever, I'm not going to rain on his parade. I'm going to listen to the reindeer. Thank God, finally something to keep him busy. Man, I'm not a parent, and I get that kids can be annoying, but man, she's real fed up with this kid. I don't know, maybe the kid's a jerk, but I mean, geez, take some interest, right? I don't know. I probably annoyed my parents too. Probably still do. So I'm not talking too much about this story, like, legitimately, because nothing has happened too much. I feel like we already know something about the sound that he's hearing is going to be, not great. It's going to turn out to be some kind of demon or murderer or something, and the mother is going to be upset that she ignored her child. But, yeah, it's a pretty basic setup. The fed-up mother, and somebody's going to get some just desserts, right? And I'm not talking about the cookies. So, like, there's just not too much going on right now. I'm, curious if this is going to earn its 3,500 upvotes, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't think this was too long. Like, I didn't really read it. I just sort of scrolled down to see how long it was. And it didn't seem very long. We're probably getting close to the end as it is. But we'll see where this goes. It might just be one of those where I read the whole thing and just give my thoughts on it at the end. I returned to the kitchen and frowned at the turkey. It looked so pale and slimy. My mother would be here tomorrow, and she was so particular about it. Don't overcook it, it'll be too dry. And don't put too much salt. Nobody likes a salty turkey. And don't burn it. Oh my goodness, don't burn it. Her voice echoed in my head. These are very obvious cooking tips, right? Like, yeah, no kidding, don't overcook the bird. It'll be dry, and yeah, too much salt makes things salty. And oh, don't burn it. Yeah, good advice. Good stuff, Ma. Don't burn the food. It's something I needed to know. Dave made such a perfect, wonderful turkey last year. The way he seasoned it, it was exquisite. This mother is very passionate about her holiday turkey. And particularly by Dave. Who was Dave? We'll find out. Here we are. Yeah, well, then I caught Dave seasoning someone else's turkey, so to speak. Ooh, Dave. You naughty boy. Mommy, I hear them, he shouted. That's great, I called back. Dave's attempts to reconcile were, to say the least, lacking. Sometimes he'd leave me a voicemail, just saying, I love you, then hanging up. Other times, he'd text me a photo of his hand, wearing the wedding ring. No caption, nothing else in the picture, just his hand. And the ring was so stupid looking anyway, silver encrusted with a ton of tiny garnets, because red is the color of love. Red is also the color I saw when I found them Mommy, I hear them, the jingling, and footsteps. I like that last, sort of sequence. I like this paragraph, about, where this, person is talking about Dave's infidelities and, his attempts at, making up for it. Like, just the I love you voicemail and the picture of his ring with no caption and all that. I kind of like that. It's, I don't know if it's going to come back, but I just sort of it's weird a little bit. But it seems like something somebody would do. It's just kind of drilling it home, no, I love you. No, look, this is, look at the wedding ring. That I feel like that's something that's plucked from real life. I wouldn't be surprised if the person who wrote this, experienced something like this, because it's not so over the top. If it turns out Dave is outside trying to lure the kid or something like that, it's not foreshadowing him being crazy or stuff like that, but it is sort of weird. It's just the calling and saying I love you, then hanging up and all that, and the red is also the color I saw when I saw them fuck. It's funny. I think it's intentional comedy. I'm curious where this is going to go, but yeah, that part, as far as the writing, I like that part. The writing is pretty decent, there's not, I haven't noticed any mistakes or anything like that. It depends on, if there's a reason for, I'll talk about it when we're done here, because I'm speculating a lot. Like I said, we're probably pretty close to the end, so let's just see. Mommy, I hear them, the jingling and footsteps. That's great, honey. Listen. I sighed and rinsed the slime off my hands. Okay, Jackson, I'm coming, I said, stepping into the dining room. I listened. Jingle, jingle. I froze. My heart began to pound. Santa's here. See? He squealed. Jingle, jingle. It wasn't the jingling of bells or leash. It was the jingling of keys, as someone tried the lock. Ooh, I like that. I grabbed Jackson's arm and dragged him out of the dining room. Mommy, what are you doing? We're going to sit here and wait for Santa to come down the chimney, see? I said, my voice quavering. I eyed the back door. Could we make a run for it? Thump, thump. He's on the roof, Jackson squealed, grinning. Thump, thump. I hugged Jackson, holding him as close as I could. Thump. I screamed. Jackson broke free from my arms and ran towards the chimney. Then I saw it. A small box, wrapped in black paper, had fallen through the fireplace. Jackson, no! It was too late. He picked it up, grinning. Then he frowned. It's not mine. He shoved it into my lap. It's for you, Mommy. Handshaking, I picked it up. The note read, "You changed the locks." My heart pounding, I lifted the lid of the box. A ring, encrusted with 1,000 tiny garnets. Interesting. So yeah, it did come back to Dave kind of potentially being a threat. I really like that he didn't burst in or something like that, and I was expecting it didn't say, right? The lid of the box. It's just, it doesn't say his finger was in there with the ring still on it or something. This one's working for me, guys. This one's working for me. Again, subtlety, restraint. He didn't, pull Tales from the Crypt all through the house, and he didn't hack the door down with an axe or something, and he didn't actually come down the chimney, which would be a bad idea. Don't go down chimneys; you'll get stuck and die. But yeah, it was. He tried to come home, and the jingling of his keys was like the jingling. Ooh, I like that. And then he actually. Him actually going up on the roof is a little ridiculous, but I like it. And like I said, he didn't drop down, a bomb or something, or he didn't drop down, something gruesome or that. It was a box with his ring and the note, "You changed the locks." He just wrote that right now. And that's sort of the last straw, and it doesn't say anything else happened here, right? That's it. It doesn't say and then she heard the back door open or something. That's it. The way that it sounds is her ex-husband presumably showed up, tried to get in the house, couldn't, and is so distraught that his indiscretions were unforgivable, and he wouldn't be taken back, so he went up on the roof and sort of delivered his, he gave the ring back and just was angrily, "You changed changed the locks." Man, I wasn't expecting this. Everything kind of seemed a little cookie cutter, a little cliched. Which again, I say that a lot, but I feel like we run into into that a lot. We know what to expect. So yeah, I think this one deserves its high score. Again, because I like how it's structured. I like the sort of simple dialogue. I when I say cliche, this isn't necessarily a bad thing here, because it's sort of okay, we have the weary single mother who was sort of not abusive, but not even full on negligent of her kid, but is sort of just fed up. She's a human being. She's tired of dealing with it, especially on the holidays. She obviously has stresses. She's worried about pleasing her mother and all that. That's a character type we've seen, but it doesn't get into that too much. It's just sort of it gives the reason of why she kind of gives you the backstory in the narration while her son Jackson is hearing the jingling of the keys and all that, so she can talk about Dave and all that. And this was it all worked. She was fed up with Jackson, and it talked about the turkey and all that, and that's what she's worried about. She's focused on getting the turkey right because her mother is so picky about it, and then she's picky about it because Dave did so good, but then Dave cheated on her, and also, hey, Dave tried to make amends, but he did it in kind of a weird way, and, or at least an ineffectual way that was also kind of weird. And yeah, so it all just kind of, to make a Christmas reference, is all kind of wrapped up nicely in, a nice bow. I like this one. It's it just sort of like I said, it clicks. It clicks on kind of all the levels. It's put together, well. It's a pretty quick one, so pacing isn't I mean, pacing, of course, matters, but this isn't like there was a lot of, like, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, it's one little scene, but, it moves at the right speed to deliver its punch, and I like that in a way it pulled its punch, like I've been saying, like, you're expecting something to bust down the door, something to open the back door, something to come down the chimney, a monster, something, like, whatever, but it wasn't. It's just her ex-husband being super weird, and not in a directly threatening way, but in a way that is still very unsettling. So, let me check out some of the comments here, because I'm curious. Let's look at this first one, because this has, like, the most upvotes by, user Karmatika. As someone who's been through a breakup with an obsessive, abusive ex, this is my worst nightmare. Everyone here who is saying it's not scary enough without some spooky twist, and the finger was still in it, woo, is missing the point. Hope you and yours are well, firmly upvoted and saved. And then the author responds, thank you so much, I think we're okay now. Oh yeah, odds are if you're listening to this, you probably know it, but, NoSleep has sort of everything posted here is true, treated as true if you're going to comment on anything. So that's why, like, the author is actually going to respond as the character, and all that, and people are going to, comment as if this was an actual thing that happened. But, the comment isn't wrong. Like, this is, like, a sort of grounded in reality scary thing of, an obsessive ex showing up, trying to get in the house, and then, just doing something not great. And I agree that people saying it's not scary enough without some spooky twist, like I said before, like, oh, I expected, oh, is the finger still in it? No, like, not even that. It's so good. It's such a good choice to, like, not have, oh, he cut his own finger off or something. Such a good choice, because it's just that extra realism. I really like this. I'm jealous of this. So, like, this is something, as someone who's, like, really trying to get into the mindset of, the realist horror, to steal dead pallets, the Ashcan horror, of the less is more and all that, this is, I think this works. Yeah, really, yeah, let's see, who else, here's in that, comment chain, 09, the G-Man says, I really thought this was going to end with Dave hanging from the roof and you seeing him from the window or something. I'm glad it didn't, and I'm glad things are okay for now. Yes, yes, yes. And Canis says, you're very talented and I enjoy your writing style. I was on the edge of my seat with my heart pounding. Hope you continue to be able to turn negative events in your life into something positive like this story. Yeah, like, I mean, that's just, not too much there. But, yeah. Man, I'm excited because, like, usually I'm, left kind of cold on these stories that we read, and, like, it becomes more about saying, well, hey, maybe this is what could have been done better, hey, in the future, this is why I didn't like this thing. This one, yeah, you can tell, like, it took me by surprise, because, like, obviously I was talking about, okay, this is kind of a well-tread setup, like, I was expecting, oh, hey, it's actually a creature, at the door, oh, it's gonna be, spooky Santa, like I said, Tales from the Crypt, chopping down the door with an axe, the ex doing something gruesome, doing something to the kid while she was in the other room, but no, yeah, so this is definitely a good example. And this is a good creepypasta example. This is the realist horror, where there's no supernatural, nothing that out of this world happens. It, like I said, it's a little out there that he actually climbed up on the roof, but he didn't do anything, like jump in through the window or jump down the chimney himself, or even, like I said, he didn't cut off his finger to deliver the ring. He just put the ring in a box. And like I said, that line, you change the locks, is so ominous, but it didn't do anything about it. Like, he didn't bust down the door, and he didn't, deliver any other threats. It's just, you change the locks. Like, that's so accusatory and so ominous and so threatening without being a direct threat. And um, like I said, this is plucked out of, I feel like the I love you messages and just the picture of the ring is something that is so believable, and I would not be shocked if the author either had something like that experience themselves or knew somebody, something like that, and just kind of went off that and said, hey, you know what else would have been extra scary? If the person came to the house and, and all that, and, did this sort of thing. And especially, like, this is sort of a Christmas-themed story, and obviously it's doing that sort of in, subversion. It's, it's not the jingle bells of Santa, it's the jingling of keys. And, it's not Santa delivering presents, down the chimney. And that might, I haven't read that many, Christmas stories, but, I really enjoy this, sort of take on it. The mirroring of, Santa Claus giving presents and coming down the chimney and all that. Again, because, what happens is so kind of grounded and realistic and, believable, the ridiculousness of it mirroring Santa Claus, is forgivable. Yeah. I think that's, it's probably about all I have to say on it. I feel like I might be repeating myself a little bit, but let me just take a quick look through the comments again. And yeah, there's a lot of people just saying that this story is terrifying. It's so realistic that it's terrifying. And yeah, it's I don't know. There's a lot of comics here. There's hundreds of them. So yeah, I think that's good. I think that's all I have to say about this one because it's a good one. I like it. The title is rough. Like I said, it's that very NoSleep title. But other than that, it works. And I think this is a good example. Hopefully, I'm gonna throw a few tweets out and stuff like this. I want to get some eyes on this story because I think this is a pretty decent one to read for people. I think this one, obviously it did well on NoSleep. It's like I said, it's got 3,500 upvotes. And out of my few episodes, of the ones where I picked where it's like, oh well, this one's highly rated. I think this is the first one that isn't considered like a classic that I feel like really deserves its praise. So yeah, with that, yeah, we could wrap it up here. That was I Hear Santa's Reindeer Outside, shot of my 6-year-old by BlairDaniels. As usual, there'll be a link in the description so you can go check it out for yourself. Go let them know, go give it upvotes and all that. Let them know that if you thought it was good, let them know, because this person deserves their praise, in my opinion. So yeah. Yeah, like I said, I keep on wanting to say stuff about it, but like I said, I feel like I'm repeating myself. I think that's the one trouble with stories that I like. There isn't as much critique about it, so I just sort of run out of content. I mean, I've been talking for almost a half an hour. Granted, a lot of that was about toys that I had as a kid, but yeah, it just feels like I'm not doing the story a service because I'm not really critiquing it as well as I feel like I should be. But I can't think of anything else to say. Like I said, I like it, and I said why I like it. So yeah, we'll like I said, we'll wrap that little Christmas present up. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. Like I said, hopefully I can get you a few episodes out and just kind of catch up. But we'll see how it goes. You'll find out. So yeah, later.